So now we'll see if YouTube actually likes the stream today, because for some reason YouTube has been refusing to let me stream, even if I was sitting at home on a Wi-Fi signal. And I don't pay for cheap internet at my house. I've got the fastest internet I can get in my own neighborhood, so it doesn't make sense why YouTube kept claiming I had no signal even when I was on Wi-Fi. But hey, there we are. So, everybody, let's get the news out there real quick. I've got a load on board that is going to Salt Lake City, Utah. It was supposed to deliver today, but it's not going to because the city, in their infinite wisdom, decided to tear up the street that goes to where I need to deliver, and they should be done with that tonight, so I can't deliver it till tomorrow. But after that, I am grabbing a load that goes into Missouri, and then I'll be there for probably the 22nd. I'd like to be there by the 22nd, but 23rd, 24th, Jefferson City. We got a big freedom picnic going on, and we're going to have guest speakers, and I will be there. And I want to know if anybody wants to convoy from Salt Lake City or any place in between there and Jefferson City, Missouri, to get there. I personally will be there. The Nagys will be there. TQ Trucking will be there. A lot of people that you know will be there. Many of them will be speaking. And come on out. Definitely come on out and enjoy the picnic for the day. It's going to be on the 24th in Jefferson City, Missouri. I'm sure Silly has the information for that. She can start posting that information if she wants to. I would appreciate it if she did, since you can see what I'm doing. But on the other side, everybody's like, well, I haven't seen Black Wolf in so many days. Where is he? Is he okay? Yeah, I'm okay. I've been laying low here and there. I've also been having a hard time actually getting YouTube to work. I've actually put up a couple of because I would try all day long, even sitting on my own Wi-Fi at home. I would try to go live all day, and it just would not let me go live. It would start to, and then it would say that I didn't have a strong enough signal. Didn't matter whether I was on my own Wi-Fi, which is like the best you can get for the area, or which definitely has no trouble handling my son's Xbox. So yeah, talk about a bandwidth hog. But even if I was in the middle of town with a full 5G UC signal, it would still tell me that I didn't have a signal, and it would kill my YouTube stream instantly. So that's another way they're shadow banning us, I guess. Has anybody got any interest in, anywhere between Salt Lake City, Utah and Jefferson City, Missouri? Any interest in convoying to be there for this weekend? If you do, let me know. Put it right there in the comments. Everybody like, subscribe, share. Definitely share. Let's get as many viewers on here as you can. I'm not sure how long I'm going to have a signal, because pretty soon I will be headed southbound instead of eastbound, and I'll be going through the mountain ranges down there between Idaho and Utah, and I won't have a signal out there. Not until I get down into the Tremonton area. Once I get down into the Tremonton area, then I'll have my signal back. But see, you're gonna miss out, Krista. You're gonna miss out. Yep. Another thing is, I put up a live stream, really short, about 10 minutes long, and it's titled hashtag no more third terms. Everybody should be taking that and sharing it everywhere. And when you share it, put a brief description in the comment about what it is, and then put hashtag no more third terms exactly like it is in the title, so we can start triggering that algorithm for it to start showing up everywhere. Because if you haven't watched it, I encourage you to. I am 100% positive you will probably agree with exactly what I said, and it is something that the entire country needs to hear. Well, I have it on good authority that Rosie Rowe Patriot from Maryland will also be at the picnic there, the state picnic in Missouri, there in Jefferson City this weekend. So she's driving all the way out from Maryland. I know quite a few people, like TQ Trucking. They're over there on the other end of Ohio, out there near Pennsylvania. They're coming out. Or were they in Indiana? I don't remember if they were in Indiana or Ohio. But I do know that they're coming. I know Butch is going to be there. Like I said, the Nagys will be there. There's an awful lot of us that you guys are extremely familiar with that will be there. On the 24th in Jefferson City, Missouri, we're having a freedom picnic, and there will be speakers. I don't really remember for sure who the speakers are. Maybe Silly can tell us, because I know she's read up on it. And right now, I'm in the process of trying to find out if I can become a speaker as well. I don't know if there's a certain time frame and they've already got all the slots filled up or what. But I feel I have a message that needs to be heard as well. Not just my hashtag no more third terms, but about taking everybody that wants the same thing and ignoring the faults in them that you might find, because they're on the same line as you and want the same thing as you. Well, there's no reason to exclude them from the same fight. All you're doing is weakening your own fight. That being said, there are certain aspects of certain people that shouldn't be allowed, or at least shouldn't be allowed around certain other kinds of people, for safety reasons. But I don't believe that anybody should be excluded because of their religious views or their political views or their whatever view they have. Doesn't matter who you are. If you want to keep or restore your constitutional rights provided by the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights, then by all means, join in. Nobody should be pushing anybody away just because you might have a slightly different political view. If you want to be able to keep those things and get rid of the Emergency Powers Act that is in place, then we all need to come together regardless of what we think about the next person standing next to you. This is going to take everybody, not just a select few. And this is going to take grassroots at the state level, at the city level, at the county level, at your township hall, your town hall. You even got to get into your school boards. This has got to take place everywhere. So now we're not even allowed to talk about that country that is supposedly at war with another country right now, that is supposedly dominating the media because it's such a tragedy. We can't even talk about that on YouTube without getting restrictions put on us, or getting our YouTubes taken, or shut down, or suspended. From what I understand, Tommy Temper is now basically out of business for a while. They shut his channel down. So there's a lot out there we can't see or hear now because it doesn't fit the agenda. So, another thing, everybody knows I took part in the People's Convoy. I don't know how many people that took part in the People's Convoy have been through what I've been through so far, but I do know that all of it started from a time frame while we were actually in Sacramento, California. Now, somehow, things were said and done, little videos were taken and pieced together to make something sound like something else, and the FBI got their hands on it, and the FBI came to my house, scared my family, scared my neighbors. Then they called me. So I had a talk with them, and I pointed out, here's the original videos on these couple of different live streams from multiple angles. And here's what was really said. I thought it was all done and good. You know, they even said, oh, no problem. You know, this is nothing. We're not worried. Well, then they turn around and they come back out to my house twice. 2 more times. Since then, nothing. And what's really weird, they didn't come out as just the FBI. They came out as the FBI Anti-Terrorism Task Force. So now, you are a domestic terrorist just because you have an opposing political view. Anybody remember how that all started with World War II? Like right before the war actually started? Anybody remember all that? How that started? What did you hear? What do you read in your history books? You know, complete media control, complete control of the media and what you hear and what you see from all sides, and then the opposing views were shut up, silenced, and disappeared. Yeah. Well, here's how scary this is getting. A couple days ago, a friend of mine from an undisclosed place in the middle of the country calls me up. Now he and I, here's a little bit of backstory. He and I have known each other for more than 25 years. We were in the Army together. We'd been deployed together on a few things. And you know, after we got out of the Army, we'd lost touch with each other. And then one day, I pull into a terminal for a specific trucking company that I'm working for and run right into him. And we've been back in touch ever since. Now, we both drive truck. And back then we both drove for the same company. We don't drive for the same companies anymore because I drive for my own company. Now, with that being said, he calls me up the other day and says, "Buddy, what in the did you do?" And I'm asking, well, what are you talking about? He was delivering a load to a military base, and they would not let him on base at first. They took him back and they interrogated him for 2.5 hours about me and his association with me because he's a supposed known associate. During this interrogation, he found out that they have me labeled as a domestic terrorist. I am supposedly an extreme political activist. I am supposedly a white supremacist, and I am considered extremely dangerous and violent. And supposedly, me and on base anymore, on any military base. Now, wait a minute. What crime have I committed other than being in the People's Convoy, waving my flag, demanding freedom, medical freedom? What crime have I committed simply by my constitutional right? Peaceably. So, long story short, you know that he's with the People's Convoy. Information is so wrong because, yeah, I was with the People's Convoy. But the People's Convoy has been dispersed and dead and gone for, 2 months now? So, yeah. Dangerous, right? I'm violent and all of that. Well, they finally let him deliver his load on base, but instead of letting him just drive on with his little pass and everything and go and deliver his load and come back out, they attached a full MP division to him, fully armed, and escorted him where his truck was unloaded and escorted him back out and would not let him out of his truck, which is not normal when you deliver to any military base. So it sounds like to me, even though I have no criminal history, other than a couple of old traffic tickets that were taken care of when they happened, not a big deal. There's no wants, no warrants, there's no crime, there's nothing on me. But yet, I am now no longer allowed to be on a military base, is what it sounds like. Because now they're actively looking for me. And I'm pretty sure if I were to try to deliver a load to a military base or pick one up at a military base, I'd probably get arrested for trying to enter. Even though I've not been notified. Other than by my friend telling me this is what happened. So, there's that. Now, if that's the case, then I would be willing to bet you I'm not allowed to fly on any airplanes. And I would not be allowed out of the country, at least not through customs. Which means I can't go in and out of Canada, which is where usually I make my most money. Because taking loads in and out of Canada pay extremely well. Simply because of the fact that you have to deal with customs and the border crossing both directions. And military loads, they pay extremely well. So now, basically, it seems to me like you've just cut my throat and messed with my business and messed with my money and my income in a way to try to shut me up. Sorry, I'm an old farm boy. I believe in this country. I support this country 100%, and I 100% believe in that Constitution and everything that it holds. I'm ex-military. I am a veteran. I am one of the most patriotic people you will ever meet. And I guarantee you I'm one of the people that you would want standing next to you if we were invaded by a foreign body and we found ourselves at war in our own country. I guarantee I'd be the one that you want standing next to you. I'm not about doing anything that's not peaceful in this country. to get to achieve a political means. I'm sorry, but if that Constitution and the Bill of Rights mean nothing to you, then you are the problem. Because that is what I support. That is why I am fighting, because that is what they are taking away. That is what they have neutralized right now just by having the Emergency Powers Act in place. I'm a farm boy. I'm a veteran. I am extremely patriotic. I am a husband. I am a father. I am a truck driver. And I am a business owner. And I'm a live streamer. And I will not be silenced. And I would love to know where they get off calling me a white supremacist, let alone a domestic terrorist or an extreme right-wing political activist. I'm not right-wing. I'm not left-wing. I'm constitutional. Period. I do not believe in a left or a right. I don't believe in that at all. I believe that all sides of the politics, all of the politicians, are working together against the people. They sit there and say, this side here, the left side. They call themselves the left side. They have these bills that are great for the people. Okay, yeah, they're great for the people. But guess what? Magically, they can't get them passed through. The right side says, oh, well, we got these bills that are great for the people. Yeah, they'd be great for the people. But guess what? Magically, you can't get those bills passed either. But somehow, both sides seem to be able to pass the bills that are bad for everybody in the country because it belongs to one agenda. That agenda pushing forward that will hurt this country and the people in this country. That will destroy our economy. That will crush us, will throw us into a depression, which we're headed for. There's no stopping it. You're already seeing it happen in other places in the world, especially if you watch all the different live streams from all over the world. You're not seeing this stuff on the mainstream media because they refuse to cover it because they don't want the people here in this country to know. But everywhere in the world right now is also suffering the same things, and they are protesting the same things as we are here right now. They're killing farms. They're killing our produce. They're destroying our production of any kind of foods all over the world. They're taking farms away from farmers. They're telling farmers they cannot farm. Where do you think your food comes from? I mean, seriously, where do you think your food? It doesn't come from the grocery store, it comes from a farm. It starts on a farm, it's grown by a farmer, or it's raised by a farmer. And it goes through whatever processes it needs to go through before it ever gets to the grocery store. And in order to get there, it's hauled by a truck. Imagine that. You're pushing fuel prices extremely high. You're pushing the freight rates that the truck drivers would get paid extremely low, to the point that we are actually losing money to deliver the loads because the fuel costs us more than the load pays. Guess what? Everything that is happening, it's not just here, it's all over the world, and it is built to crush the economy of every single country in the world, not just ours, but it is really crushing us here. We are not long from people starving in this country because of this. It's only a matter of time, because you can already go to your grocery store now and find big holes in on the shelves all over the place where products should be but are not. And even right now, there are 2 different food processing plants in Oregon, down near Medford. One of them's down near Medford. I don't remember where the other one is, but both of them right now today are on fire, burning to the ground. And they're not the only ones around the country over the last several weeks or even today. And it's not just them. They are going out and burning fields that haven't even finished and been harvested yet, destroying the crops. And they're going out and destroying full herds of animals that would be processed for food or for dairy. For what purpose? Other than to starve the people of this country. Other than to put us on rations. Other than to create a shortage that doesn't exist. So, yeah, I know we're natural leaders, but in the same respect, we also have to be able to stay free. We also have to be able to remain in a position where we can still get our voices out there. Just because we're natural leaders doesn't mean that we all need to jump in and pushing in one spot. Because if we do that, take a look at what's happened, okay? You take a look at how Alex Jones, for example, yeah, okay, maybe some of his ideas were conspiracy theory-ish and kind of way out there and outlandish. Whether you believe all of the stuff that he's ever said or not, the government still went after him and took him down. He's back up now, thankfully, but they tried to take him out and shut him up by any means necessary. And they're doing it right now to Steve Bannon with the War Room. That's why Steve Bannon hasn't been live himself in quite a while. Somebody else is now doing the reports because they raided Bannon's house, they raided his business, they put him in cuffs and hauled him away. For what reason? What reasons did they have? They took X-Ray's vehicle under false pretenses. They took X-Ray's vehicle under false pretenses and then hid where it was. And are still, in my opinion, hiding where it is. And put him through the ringer on trying to get it back or trying to find it. Now, I'm pretty sure that if he had showed up to try to get his vehicle back, we would have never seen him again. They would have disappeared him. I'm sure of that. Especially knowing what I have been through, what my family has been through with the FBI being at the house more than, on 3 separate occasions now. 2 times after the fact that they had said that there was nothing and that I was fine. And now, come to find out, everybody that is supposedly a known associate of mine gets anywhere near a military base, they're most likely either not going to be allowed on or they're going to be interrogated for at least 2 to 3 hours before they're actually allowed on, but escorted under military guard, fully armed, on and off. Which tells me that if they're doing that at the military bases, then they're doing that at the airports too, which means I won't be able to fly anywhere. They're probably doing it at bus stations. And I can guarantee they're doing it at the border. So if I were to try to go in and out of Canada, I would not be allowed. I'd probably get arrested. I know I could get into Mexico, but I probably would not be allowed back into America. Because Mexico doesn't check you when you're on your way in. Neither does America. But when you come back in from Mexico, America checks you. I guarantee, because of all of that, we have to remain vigilant We have to remain out there, yes, but we cannot 100% be all together and part of one major little movement. We have to be able to support all of them. And that's what I try to do. I try to support all of the movements that are basically following along the same lines, all peaceful and all for freedom, all for the rights of the people of this country and any other country. If I thought, even though I am a natural born leader, according to a lot of people here that follow me, same as X-Ray or same as Jesse or any of the other real good live streamers out there, the ones that really have a decent message, okay, and a decent way to go, or a decent platform to put out there. If any one of us trips up in the slightest, we could be disappeared in a heartbeat. What good does it do to be pushing a movement forward and leading the people forward in a fight for the freedom of the people of this country if we all get disappeared? That is why most of us are being extremely careful right now. Because what is going on right now is extremely scary, and it reminds me of everything I ever learned about the brown shirts, the Third Reich, and the whole thing that took place right before World War II. How many people became political prisoners or were plain disappeared because they opposed the other party, or they opposed the current going agenda? When you have two political sides that can't seem to cooperate enough to do things that are better for the people of this country, but seem to somehow keep passing all the bad things that follow along with one stupid agenda, or one very bad agenda for the people, and they seem to pass that agenda through, that tells me there is no party. They're all cooperating with each other to push the one bad agenda, and they don't care about the people of this country. They don't have the back of the people of this country, and they could care less, because the only thing they care about is the money that the people that are paying for the further movement of that one agenda, the people that are putting the money in their pockets, the foreign interests and the lobbyists, those people, that money, that is all they care about, because that money is far more than what the people of this country are paying them to be a congressman or a senator or a politician. And that is what they are doing. That is why we need to start with hashtag no more third terms. Because we are literally heading towards a worldwide depression, but in the same respect, from everything they are doing right now, we are headed towards a worldwide genocide performed by the super elite of the world. Not just the people here in this country. This is worldwide. And I will not be silenced. My colors do not run. And I am not anti-American. I may be anti-political in some ways, as far as not believing in either of the two supposed parties. Because after everything we have seen over the last, I don't know, how long have you been alive? Take a look at all the different, take a look at every bill that ever went through the House or the Senate. Take a look at all of them and see what got voted on and what did not, who voted on them and who did not, and what party they belonged to. And then you'll see what I see. I see two people, or two sides, supposedly, or at least pretending to be sides, fighting with each other over the good stuff and refusing to pass it, but bowing down and kowtowing to everything that would be detrimental or bad for the people of this country or for this country's economy. In other words, they're forwarding one agenda that is very bad for this country, and everything that would be good for this country, they fight each other over. But they put on a good show. They put on one heck of a good show in front of the media. They make us all really believe that they are literally fighting against each other over these things. They're literally in disagreement over these things. But then they don't say a word in the media when it comes to the bad stuff they pass through that follows that one agenda. In my opinion, and in my educated guess from everything that I have seen throughout all my life, when it comes to politics, our politicians in this country no longer are politicians. They are the best paid actors in the world, because they are being paid to put on a show to keep the people against each other, this side versus that side, this gender versus that gender, this ideology versus that ideology, this religion versus that religion, this color versus that color. I'm sorry, in this country, we need to stop thinking of everybody as different things. Stop thinking of people as their religions. Stop thinking of people as their sexes. Stop thinking of people as their races. Stop thinking of their cultures. Stop thinking of their languages. And start thinking of everybody as an American citizen. All legal American citizens should be able to come together regardless of any different views, and be able to sit down and have an intelligent conversation with each other and actually find middle ground. That middle ground is the one and the only thing that is going to help this country move forward in the future. And the fact remains that our churches, our religions, our media, our politicians, our schools have pushed and painted an agenda on every aspect of our lives, trying to point us against each other in every aspect. It is time for us to get rid of all of that programming and sit down with each other and actually have a conversation. And actually look at all of the aspects together, so that we can move forward instead of fighting each other. Because right now, everything that is going wrong, everything that will be going wrong in the future, has all been perpetuated by our own media and our politicians, and an agenda that comes from outside of this country. And this agenda has been pushed on almost every country in the world. And if you don't believe me, start looking for all of the different live streamers and all of the different re-streamers and all of the different independent media that is on YouTube. It's on Rumble. It's on BitChute. It's on all kinds of different live media sources. Start watching everything. Even if you don't understand the language, watch what's happening. I bet most of you didn't even know what happened in Sri Lanka. I'll bet most of you don't even know what's going on in Australia right now, or in Denmark, or in Norway, or in the Netherlands, or in Germany, or in France, or in Spain, or in England, Scotland, Ireland. I'll bet you have no clue what is going on in almost all of the other countries in the world. I'll bet you don't even know that China stopped their freedom movement by doing the same thing they did during the initial pandemic outbreak. They went and they took everybody that they thought might possibly take part in a freedom type movement in China. They cornered them into their own apartments or houses or dwellings, and then they bolted and welded their windows and doors so they couldn't get out. And they did this almost 2 to 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago. And to this day, those doors are still bolted shut. Those people by now have long run out of food and water and starved to death. That is how China stopped their freedom movement. And that is something that we in this country and other countries are so close to having happen to us. Sorry. That is what I've seen. I've actually seen real video footage of it. These are my opinions, my own judgments that I have come to come to understand myself. But the fact remains, there are tons and tons and tons and thousands of hours of video from all over the world. And a lot of it is live right now. And I've been watching all of it, skimming through all of it. That's why you haven't seen me on a lot. Not to mention I've been taking some time for myself and laying low a little bit. But it does take a lot of time to sift through all the different videos of the world, all the different live streams and everything else. It does take quite a bit of time to sift through all that to be able to come up with what's really going on in this world right now. And you know what? We all need to come together. We can't sit back and say, well, I can't because I have this house and these kids and this job. We can't sit back and say, well, I can't afford to get there. You can walk. You've got a certain other live streamer right now that is walking across the country in protest. As a matter of fact, there is a gentleman right now in Washington, D.C. that a couple of years ago walked from California all the way to D.C. in protest for what's going on. You don't even have to go to D.C. You can go to your city council. You can go to your local church. You can go to your local school board. You can protest there, or you can spread the message there. You can spread the message at your local mall. You can spread the message at your local picnic. You can host a barbecue and spread the message. And you can order boxes and boxes of the U.S. Constitution, a little pocket book, little pocket Constitution, and you can issue those out to people. You can distribute them out. You can go to your local mall and put them under every single windshield wiper. I don't want to hear the words "I can't," because "I can't" is I fail. "I can't" is an excuse. There are things that you can do. And it doesn't matter if you're disabled. It doesn't matter if you're elderly. It doesn't matter if you're a single mom. There are things that you can do in order to spread the message and in order to help the forward movement, to help get this country turned around and headed the right direction. And by all means, don't think that we should be out there helping any other country right now. We need to fix our country first. We need to put our country back on the right track first before we ever consider sending any kind of help whatsoever to another country for any reason. We need to make sure our skeletons are out of the closet. We need to make sure our doesn't stink. And we need to make sure that we are on the right track. Then we can help other people. Because until that point, we have no business helping other countries for anything, simply because of the fact that we'd still be full of all that corruption. And all of that corruption from our politics in this country would be bleeding into those countries. And it would do us no good to be helping them, because all we would be doing is meddling at that point. We have no business meddling. Now, with all of that being said, yes, I am going to be in Jefferson City, Missouri. I'm looking at maybe Friday, maybe Saturday being in the area. Sunday, I will be there for the picnic. Now, on the 23rd, there is a worldwide slowdown, or a worldwide, what is it called? Slow roll, okay? We're asking for a slow roll worldwide starting at 11 o'clock, no matter what time zone you are in. Once it is 11 o'clock in your time zone on the 23rd, You should be out in traffic and rolling slow, waving your flags, or headed to your capital to do a slow convoy roll around your capital, or around your city hall, or around your county seat houses, wherever your county buildings are, and your federal, whatever. There is a worldwide slow roll being called for. Worldwide, not just America, not just Canada, but the entire world. Everywhere in the world at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock in New York, you should be slow rolling traffic. At 11 o'clock, and we're talking AM, 11 AM, New York, or in Chicago, or in Detroit, Michigan, or in Sydney, Nebraska, or in Seattle, Washington, 11 o'clock in that specific time zone. So basically, the slow roll will start as a wave at one point in the world, and it will literally slowly work its way all the way around the world. 11 a.m. on the 23rd, especially if you're anywhere near a state capital or a city hall. We're looking for a slow roll on the 23rd. And then again on the 24th, I'm going to be out in Jefferson City, Missouri for the picnic, where we will have lots of speakers that are going to be coming out for the movement towards freedom of the people in this country. I will be there. I know TQ Trucking will be there. I know the Nagys will be there. I know Rosie Rowe Patriot's going to be there. And many, many more. So, tomorrow afternoon, I should be free and clear in Salt Lake City to find or get a load that will get me from Salt Lake City, Utah, out to Jefferson City, Missouri. I'm wondering if anybody in between Salt Lake City and Jefferson City, Missouri, would be willing to join me in a convoy to Jefferson City, Missouri. Because the picnic is going to be held at the park, the national park, right outside the state capital of Missouri. And it would be a wonderful way for us to show a solidarity between the states. Just because you live in one state and nobody's doing anything in your state doesn't mean that you can't drive to another state and join an event that is in another state, or take part in an event that is in another state. We need to start sharing everything, even at the state level or the city levels. Start sharing the information, start sharing the videos, start sharing the flyers, start sharing the constitutional pocketbooks, the little pocket constitutions. Start sharing the message with everybody. Doesn't matter what state they reside in. It doesn't matter how far away they are. Show support any way you can. And even if that means you convoy from, I don't know, convoy from Colorado Springs over to Jefferson City, Missouri, spend the weekend or spend the day on the 24th at the event, and then convoy back home. We all are one country. It doesn't matter what state we come from. We all are one people. We are human race. We are part of the human race. It doesn't matter what else exists. And we are all American citizens. And we all need to come together, regardless of all the different views. So please, if anybody is wanting to join me in this convoy, in my trip from Salt Lake City area, Utah, to Jefferson City, Missouri area, coming up here probably tomorrow afternoon or the next morning or the next afternoon, sometime around there, I'll be headed out. Please, let me know. Go ahead and put it down here. Or, any one of my moderators in here can turn around and drop my email address. Go ahead and email me. Yeah, silly, I heard that you and Jen will be there also. And that is going to be awesome. That is going to be awesome. Because I've never met either of you face to face yet. I've only met you guys over the phone. Oh, silly, you got a link for the Pocket Constitution? Maybe a link where they can order in bulk, in big boxes full of the Pocket Constitution, or if they just want to get one for themselves. You got any links for that, silly? I know you do. Yeah, that's a good place too. There, small water guy. You can find boxes full of hundreds of them for sale on eBay. Oh no! Talk about timing, silly. Where are you going? I was literally about to pass that guy when he decided to come out. Good thing I wasn't doing 80 miles an hour. Now I'm going to have to get back behind him so I can draft. There is a little bit of wind out today. And since my tractor is stretched, it puts an extra gap, more space in between the back of my truck and the front of the trailer, which kind of adds a little extra drag, especially in the wind. So I kind of need to catch the guy's draft a little bit to be able to speed back up. Once I'm up to speed, I'm fine. It'll hold my speed. But it's a fight to get up to that speed when it's a windy day, especially when you're loaded heavy. Well, don't pass them out at the church, not inside. What I would recommend is maybe walking through the church parking lot and putting them on underneath people's windshield wipers. And do it anonymously. Do it anonymously, simply because you don't want the church to turn against you. Right now, I'm still in Idaho, headed for Salt Lake City, Utah. Here within the next 30-40 minutes, I will be in Utah, but I will not have a signal. So here soon, the YouTube will drop out anyway because I'll lose my signal. I won't get my signal back. At least not for any decent length of time until I get near Tremonton, Utah. Yeah, even if you're disabled, you've got a computer. Most of you have computers. Most of you have printers. You can actually print all the flyers for everything going on locally around you or in your neighboring states, as far as if freedom type events that are going on. Hey, Let Freedom Ring, how are you? Your wrench is gone. Let me fix that. Let Freedom Ring. Bink. Oh no, that was not. See, Italian Princess, your comment came in too quickly. Now, let me fix this. There we go. All right. So, even if you're disabled, there are so many things you can do, especially if you have a computer and a printer. And if you have friends that can go out and distribute those flyers. As a matter of fact, your donations, any donations can go to help. Right now, what I would like to do is I would like to get billboards all across this country, that just big black billboards with white letters, hashtag no more third terms. That's all it has to say. I'd love to get that. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at getting t-shirts made right now for hashtag no more third terms. And you never know. I might show up on the 24th over there in Jefferson City, Missouri, with a handful of t-shirts that have already been made. And I saw Sweet Caroline. Where is she? There she is. Okay, yeah, she has her wrench still. Okay. I do not know why your wrench disappeared, Let Freedom Ring. As a matter of fact, let me double check. Huh. That's interesting. Ah, okay. Now, hey, silly, can you take a look at that Let Freedom Ring that's in the room right now and tell me whether they are the actual Let Freedom Ring? Does it go to their channel or is it somebody else? Because when I touch on it, it doesn't give me the option to go to their channel. Oh, I understand that, Let Freedom Ring, but even now, I have run into some issues where people have been running around using my name in other people's live streams. So I got to be careful. Well, Italian Princess, that's fine. If Silly will drop my email link, I would like you to send me an email so I can send you my rules and guidelines that I want adhered to by my moderators. Now, if it comes to banning anybody in this channel, in the chat, the only people allowed to do any banning in this channel is Jen Simpson Silly, and myself. You can put people in timeout, or you can delete their comments if they're derogatory, or go completely against what the purpose of this channel is for. Especially if they're just outright attacking people. You know, go ahead and put them in timeout or delete their comments, give them a warning, you know. But if it comes to actually banning somebody permanently from the channel, that is going to be left to Jen Simpson, Silly, and myself. I don't have a problem with people that have opposing views coming in here and having an actual conversation to the point that we can actually find some middle ground on something, or at least try to. But those that want to come in and stir the pot and not actually be part of the conversation, I don't want them. I don't feel like I should be having to censor them, but all they're doing is hurting, especially if they're talking about key points or key things that would get a YouTube channel banned by YouTube by violating community standards. Because everybody is entitled to have their own opinion. As a matter of fact, it's their right to have their own opinion. It's their right to believe things the way that they believe them. But it's up to us to sit down and have an intelligent conversation with people like that and find middle ground that we can move forward with, instead of sitting there bashing each other. And trust me, if anybody gets out of line with banning people, I'll know it. Because I can see on my end, on my creator end, I can see who banned who. I can see who deleted what. I can see who put who in timeout. So, that's just a warning right there. Exactly. As long as you come with a level head, it doesn't matter if you have an opposing view. If you come in with a level head and actually have a good, intelligent conversation back and forth, and we actually try to find some common ground, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Because I can tell you, out of all of these different freedom movements, every single one of them refuses to cooperate with the other. Because they have different views on how things should be. But they are so bad about how badly they disagree with each other, infinitely